So part 3 of the Solstice GXP, changing the clutch. So my flywheel is in still really good shape. You can still see the grooving on it. I have to make a correction from one of my last segments of this little series, is that I cannot find a dual mass flywheel anywhere for this car. Now you can go single mass and they're aluminum, and I can't find a steel one. And you think that's great, right? Well, anybody who's drove these cars knows that their first gear is a little tall on these things, and these things don't make a lot of torque from idle. So taking off from first gear in these cars is not ideal. So putting a lighter flywheel in it would mean I'd have to give it more throttle and burn the clutch more to take off without stalling it. So I'm going to keep trying to find a dual mass flywheel. But if I can't find a brand new one, then I've welded this one all the way around and made it into a single piece steel flywheel. And I know, before you say any comments, I know it's probably stupid and it's retarded and I shouldn't have done it and everything else. I completely understand that, but the alternatives were just as bad or worse. So most likely I could have put this back in the car, drove it, and it probably would have been fine, you know. But the problem is that when you drive it and these things start to fail and go bad, they go bad. And sometimes they can come apart. It could destroy the engine. It could destroy the transmission. There's a bunch of stuff that can go really bad. And like I said, you can check these to make sure that they're still in spec by grabbing it and putting tension all the way one way, right? So you put tension, you grab it and turn it, and then mark the tooth. And when you turn it all the way and put tension on it, it shouldn't move more than 5 teeth on your ring gear. This one moves 6, 6.5. It has a little bit of natural side motion, back and forth motion with this upper separate piece. But I'm just afraid I can't replace it. So far, I haven't been able to find one. And if I put this back in there, I don't want to have to tear this transmission of this car apart again, because this decides to fail. And it could be 1,000 miles from now, it could be 10,000, it could be 60,000 miles from now, who knows. But the general lifespan of these, it says, is between 60 to 100,000 miles. Mine's just under 100,000 miles. So this is not ideal. I understand. I completely agree with you. Trust me, I'd be pointing fingers at myself, telling myself I'm an idiot, but I can't replace it. So it's buy a stock one or buy a aluminum one piece to replace it. Okay. But like I said, it'll be harder to take off from a dead stop. You'll have to actually use more engine, more throttle, to move the car without stalling it. It's going to be easier to stall from a dead stop trying to take off. And on top of that, you lose all that. And so with doing it this way, if this works and the car drives good, so this got rid of the dampening ability of this dual mass flywheel. But there's a but to that. Anybody that drives a manual car understands something. So typically you have one piece flywheel in a way, and then you have a clutch that has springs in the middle of it. Well, that absorbs vibrations and dampening and helps with the chatter of the clutch when it takes off from a dead stop. So the stock clutch that comes in this car has no springs on it, because this acts as your dampener. Well, the clutch that's going in this car has springs in it, and it does fit in here, like I've showed you guys on the previous section. So it will have some dampening, and it should help with the clutch chatter and stuff like that. And with it being steel or cast iron or whatever the heck this thing is, it'll maintain the weight, which will help it take off better from a dead stop. I'm also going to do a little bit different with the oils. Like I said, everything I'm doing right now, it's just, if nothing else, it's for information purposes. You don't have to do the things I do. I do stupid stuff. But like I said, we spent probably 5-6 hours longer, honestly, and we'd find them here and there, but we'd reach out to the companies and they said that they don't have them in stock and haven't had them in stock for a long time and don't know if or when they'll ever have them back. And I live in the mountains in the snow, so this car has to be fixed and put back into underneath a carport for the winter and for snow. And so if this works, like I said, the this, I'll sand it, clean it up a little bit, you know what I mean? And as long as this works, you know, like everything's set nice, which is why I took it out to weld it so everything would sit flat. I made sure everything was like centered where it's supposed to be and everything before I start welding, and I jumped across and stuff like that to try to keep everything uniform with the heat so it wouldn't be no warpage. If this works, then it's nice because I don't have to worry about this failing. That's been taken out of the equation. I don't have to worry about it. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how this works. I don't know if it will or not. It could go terribly bad, you know, to be honest with you. I hope not, but we'll find out. We'll see. So I just want to make this video so far about this, and then like I said, it'll just be a segment after segment after segment with this thing. But it's been a nightmare because I've never heard of a dual mass clutch until I got to this car. And then I'm like, okay, cool. Well, it's not an old car, so it should be easy to buy a clutch for it, and it's not. And everybody does the single aluminum kits, you know, where you can convert it to a single mass flywheel. But if you read a bunch of the forums, they're not that great, and a lot of people don't like them. They're harder to take off with because, like I explained before, you're going from a probably, I don't know, 17, 30 pound, I think it's 30 pounds or something like that. It's pretty heavy because it's dual mass flywheel to something that's less than half the weight. So you lose all that inertia. This generates torque, power, weight. So it's a rotating mass, and it helps the car take off from a dead stop. So if this works out, this should actually be better and obviously cheaper than buying a kit to go to a single mass flywheel. So, and the great thing is you guys don't have to take no risk. You'll see how it works when I do it, and if it works out really good and everything goes great, then you can choose to do it yourself, or you can choose to go a different route. If it doesn't, it's not your car and it's not getting damaged. You have nothing to worry about. So like and subscribe on my stupidity. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch these videos.